following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, January 7th, 2022, Season 17, Episode number 93. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Nick, get us started with a 92 and a 93 because Dave wouldn't let us get to 92 yesterday.
92? I mean, Tony Tolbert has always been one of my favorite guys. I
Yeah.
like him a lot, so I can't think of a whole lot of others there. 93, you know, I have a good answer. I almost have an answer.
There we
for
go.
you.
There we
I
go.
almost have an answer.
There
I
we
can't
go.
quite get the answer.
I was so hopeful you would have that. Dave.
Almost got it. Anthony Spencer,
There we go.
which for his first 4 years of his career, he was almost Anthony.
Yeah.
Almost made a play, almost. And then he did. Then he started making plays. He was pretty good.
Yeah. And he was almost there, so you couldn't just kill him. Like, you were like, I see it. I see he's good. He can get there almost. Never quite there, and then he started kind of figuring it out.
Shout out my favorite 92, Jeremy Mincy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, Jeremy was a
He would have been perfect for a team like this. Like he would
way?
because he was a very solid, productive third pass rusher. He if he's Terrell
Dorrance
Basham.
Armstrong. Okay, yeah.
Terrell
Terrell
Basham.
Basham, yeah.
And great personality, great leadership qualities in the locker room. It just so happened that he was the best pass rusher on a couple of those teams, and that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah.
If he could have been on a team like this where he's the third guy off the bench, awesome.
He had a pretty, wasn't he with Jacksonville before here and had a pretty good career?
He had a nice NFL career.
Yeah.
Never spectacular.
Vested veteran kind of thing. And, yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Awesome. All right, we got a lot of things we're gonna do today. We're gonna do some storylines as we do every Friday, things that we think will be the storylines of this game coming up on Saturday. Saturday night. Then we're gonna have a little game. What?
Was Pepe Zellner 93?
Yes, he was. I'm pretty sure he
I
was.
like Pepe Zellner.
I just like the name Pepe.
Pepe Zellner was 93.
Good, perfect. Then we're gonna have in the second segment. We're gonna have a little game of see or no. We haven't done that in so long. And Amber's got some great questions for us, and we'll have some fun with that. And then in the final segment, we do have some fan questions. If you guys want to call us in the third segment, we haven't heard from you guys in a while, so call us, 888-855-2297, and we'll try to get some questions and talk to you guys about how you're feeling about this team heading into the final week of the regular season and then into the playoffs. Let's start first with storylines. And we don't usually play this game in most weeks since COVID. But I think in this week, it actually makes some sense. Who's going to play and who's going to sit? Like, I think that is the storyline of this game for me.
That's a wonderful question. And, right off the jump, we just know Micah Parsons, Tyron Smith, and Anthony Brown aren't going to play. Mike's not talking today. It's a travel day. So if there's an addition to the COVID list, it'll come out with the waiver wire probably. So hold on to your seats for that. We'll see. We'll see if they have to make any changes.
Diggs and Donovan Wilson are the two that could go there. I mean, that's just what.
Explain what's going on with them.
Because they were put on the injury report as illnesses, and they didn't practice. And Mike McCarthy made it clear yesterday that there was a lot of guys, he said, that were sick, and they haven't tested positive yet. I don't know if he said yet.
Yeah.
I don't think he said yet.
I'm
He
not
said
sure
they
about
haven't
that.
tested positive. But there was a case, there was a situation, and I know everything's different. There was a situation last week, same exact thing, illness on one day, next day, COVID. We'll see. I mean, I hope not. We'll see.
It's not usually COVID in these situations, but I swear these things follow a similar script where, like, Monday it's play to win, play to win, play to win, and by Friday it's like, well, if all these guys are out, maybe not. Yeah. And I don't know this for sure, but I just don't think that you're going to see a traditional starters play every snap sort of game. I think they're going to have a plan for this. I think the important guys will be sitting by the end of the game. If they don't sit for the whole thing, obviously some of them will.
Yeah, there's some significant players for the Eagles that are out as well. Jason Kelsey, their center, is out. Their running back Miles Sanders is out. So I think there are. as you said, Dave, like I think as the week goes on, both teams start the week, we're playing. And as the week wears on, you start seeing guys kind of not playing.
You kind of start to do the math.
As a coach, you're like, do I want to put this guy out if this guy isn't in there? And that's where, we'll see what happens by tomorrow night.
All I can think about is just the kid that is 12 years old and he got 2 tickets to this game for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's all I always think about. And I think that the league is trying its best. That's why did they move the game from Sunday to Saturday and flexing and all that? They're trying the best that they can. So people that they spend good money for these tickets and they don't want to turn it into a preseason game. Yeah. And unfortunately that's what happens sometimes. And I think that they're doing their best, but those same fans would be upset when they're like, don't treat it that way, and a guy gets hurt, and it doesn't matter. I
feel, the weather's going to suck on Saturday night. Yeah. I feel for anybody that's going to sit in this, and if it's what I think it's going to be and not all that serious of a game, that sucks for you. But it also... Mario? No, that was Beam. I didn't understand the significance of it, though.
I have to sit in it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, good
it's
point.
Personal for him.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. Sorry, buddy.
Personal.
But don't have
there
to.
You
get to.
You got to get 2 jobs.
Easy for those of us who sit in the press box to say.
Just go back to last year and just remember in Philadelphia, Ben DiNucci was driving the ball down the field to try to win the game, and that was what we saw last year. Like sidearm, slinging it, got about 9 points. I think it should be better than that.
I think most people would gladly trade. Like, you've got a funny story of like, got these tickets to this game. It was miserable, and it's kind of a funny story as opposed to somebody tore their ACL a week before the playoffs. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but I think this game, we'll see what it looks like by tomorrow night, but there certainly could be more names that pop up on lists today for both the Cowboys and for the Eagles that could affect the outcome of that game. You got something to say, Amber?
No,
okay.
No. I'm just like going back and forth because it's a tough decision because I'm thinking in my head as I was looking at you. I'm like thinking in my head, okay, where is the cutoff point of people that you sit out, and even guys that. Because you're going to have guys that are starters and are going to have to play regardless, and then you're going to have to keep. But then what if something happens to those guys in the game? So it's just like, okay, again, once you start taking starters out, the level changes, but you want to make sure you keep those guys safe as well. So it's just a weird combination. I'm interested to see exactly what they do. And, I mean, we see it in preseason games and all that, but also you have more guys at that point. And... I don't know. That was what's going through my mind. I'm like, okay, what's the cutoff here? Who's my last guy?
No, it's a good point. And to be clear, Mike McCarthy said this himself. I mean, there's only so much you can do in the regular season. Like, a lot of guys are going to have to play. Like, it's not the preseason where you can sit every starter and still have 70 guys available. That you got 48. And do the math on how many are left over once you start pulling people. So, I mean, I think a lot of these guys will still get some run just because they have to. Mathematically. So,
if I'm trying to think, how do they get to the 3? What's the easiest way they get to the 3?
There's only there's only 2 ways to move up at all, right? So losses, Cardinals have to lose because they have a tiebreaker with you, and the Rams also. Those 2 would have to lose to move up to the 3.
Yep.
And then throw in Tampa would have to lose to climb up to the 2.
Yep. Tampa's playing Carolina. Cardinals are playing Seattle, and then you've got the
Rams playing 49ers.
And by the way, I think didn't the 49ers beat the Rams earlier this year? That's the one that is the game where you think it's very possible that turns out that way.
I mean,
the other 2 it'd be upsets, right?
Those would be surprising, particularly. I mean,
is Pete Carroll coming back? I'm sorry, is Pete Carroll coming back next year?
That's the assumption. I mean, they got a lot of stuff.
The bigger question is the quarterback coming back? I mean, that's where everybody's talking. Is Russ
the
Wilson
game in
coming
Seattle?
In?
I don't know.
No, they got home games. I think both of those 2 teams have the favorites are at home, I believe. So
that sounds right to me.
Yeah,
that's correct.
I was just thinking maybe if this was the last game, Seattle. I don't know. Seattle's sneaky like that. Sometimes when they're not playing for anything, they actually can be pretty good.
The NFC West is a madhouse. I mean, no result in that division would surprise me.
Tampa's trying to lose games here. I mean, Tampa's been I mean, they've been throwing it out there to try to get beat.
He's got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot going
They could
on
lose
in
to
Tampa.
Carolina.
That Carolina team is so awful, though. Like, I mean, they're bad.
Like Jets bad.
Did you say the Tampa team or Carolina?
I said Carolina.
Oh, I thought you said Tampa. Okay.
I mean, Matt Rule might be coaching his last game, which is wild to think. Yeah. They are an S show.
But I mean, you got to admit, like their best player has missed the significant part of the season. I don't know how much you kill him for that.
The way that they've handled their quarterback situation is a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and bring it back to the Cowboys. That's why when people talk about Dak and they're like, man, he's not Rodgers, get rid of him, get somebody else. I'm like, nah, that's not how this works. In the NFL, like, it's only going to be one or two teams that have that caliber quarterback. If you've got a quarterback that's capable enough that with the right pieces around them can get you to the promised land, then you take that and you keep that and you work with that and you try to see what you can build around them, because what you don't want to be is that team like Carolina that has no shot because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, don't forget the coaches, like, their record is tied to them, you know, so they don't like just going out and losing games, because no one's going to say, well, you know, what's McCarthy's record in 3 years? It's like, well, it's really this because remember that last game? No one says that. So it all matters here. You know, he got a 6-10 to start this thing out last year. So they're definitely gonna try to win, just at what cost, I think. I think that they're going to play. Most of the guys will play most of the game.
Philly's part of this equation too. I mean, Philly's less interested in winning this thing than the Cowboys are, in my opinion, which makes sense. They have less to play for. Like, neither team has a ton to play for, but Philly's like, okay, so this is the difference between going on the road to a team we don't know versus going on the road to a team like, okay, whatever, Tampa or LA, who cares? I mean, whatever.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I just noticed this when I was doing the prep on the show. If Philly wins this game, they will end the season one game behind the Cowboys, which is remarkable to say based on how both teams started. The fact that they would have roared back and the Cowboys had their struggles in the middle of the season to where they're at a point where they are one game apart. I think that would be that would make Philadelphia feel really good about where they are this season. And probably for the Cowboys, doesn't feel great when you're one game ahead of a team that you probably had I don't know what the biggest lead they had at any point this season, but they were running away with this division at the midway point, and to win by one game would feel a little anticlimactic.
I doubt it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that's what makes me wonder, even though, like Dave says, this is not, neither are playing for much, but then, and I know we talk about it on here a lot too, is players, you know, the competitive side of things, and like I can't say
rivalry.
That word. Rivalry. Yes, that. But that it makes me wonder. I mean, yes, we can comment on it. Oh, this is not important, whatever. But when you are on that side of the building, how like competitive are they? You know, I can be playing a video game and I will beat you up and do anything I can, even if it means nothing. Like, I'm not winning anything through a video game, but you're competitive. So it makes me wonder, like, how much that really comes into play with them while they're planning to face them this weekend. So I don't know. I think that has something to do with it too. I don't think they just go in here thinking, oh, well, it's just a game that we just need to get through, basically.
And they'll feed off their fans, and their fans will certainly want to beat Dallas more. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. They're always going to want to do that. So I wonder what the line has done. I haven't looked at the line. Vegas is pretty good at that. It was 7.5 at one point. I bet it's not anymore because Micah Parsons being out, Tyron Smith is now out.
Oh, what the hell, ESPN? They usually have the line on the scoreboard, and they don't today. Sorry.
I think.
How did they come up with that number?
Oh God.
It's fascinating. It's
we got 45-minute show. I don't think
I mean,
I really don't think we can answer that question.
Wonder,
it's Cowboys. It's Cowboys by 5 right now.
Okay,
so it's gone down a couple points.
Yeah. Which just makes sense.
I mean, hey, to answer your question, a whole bunch of smart people with a whole bunch of money just break it down.
Who know how they made that money, so they're using the history of how they made that money to make more money. So it's well beyond my grasp.
It's amazing. I don't know if y'all like it. I mean, I always watch bad beats.
Oh my! It's my favorite part of the week.
Favorite part, bad beats, and basically, you probably have no idea what that is, but it's basically a bad beat is just when you bet something and you've got like, you know, you're saying that they're going to win by 6 points in basketball, and they're up by like 7 or whatever. They're up by 5, and they've got it done. And all of a sudden, somebody hits a 60-foot shot to win, and you lose. That's a bad beat.
Something incredible happens to screw your bet at the last second, basically.
Yeah. Probably a better way to say.
Yeah, that was a lot more simple.
More succinct.
Yeah,
good job.
More simple and to the point.
Bad beats. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The Cowboys had one this year. It was on there. I don't remember what.
I don't remember.
But then they also manufacture those too sometimes. When they don't have a good one, they're like, the first half money line.
Yeah, when SVP pulls out the first half over was this, I'm like, okay,
St.
I don't care.
Bonaventure's taking on Pepperdine.
I don't care about
who's
that.
betting on that? But
Somebody is.
The all-time one that, this is just burned into my brain. I think it was the 04 Final Four. UConn had Emeka Okafor, and they played Duke with Duhan. He was still there. And I think the line was like 2 or 3, and UConn hit some free throws to secure a 4-point margin with like a second left. And I think it was Duhan just hit it from like the logo, and they lost by 1 at the buzzer. Like, you can't win. He just shot it because that's what you do.
Somebody's losing their mind.
And swung the whole line based on a BS half-court shot.
Somebody's losing their mind.
A couple of years ago, I forgot which team it was. I feel it was like the Chiefs and Washington or somebody was up, and the underdog was like getting 8 points, and they were winning the whole game. Their whole game they were winning, and at the last second, I think it was the Chiefs went down and kicked a field goal to go up by like 3 to untie the game with 2 seconds to go. They're going to win it, and then the next play on the kickoff, they're just hitch and pitch and throwing it around, and then the ball goes into the end zone and they recover it and end up winning by 9. That is a bad beat. When you think, I got this whole game.
Yeah.
Maybe they win, maybe they don't, but I got 8 points, and then you lose by 9.
Oh, that sucks.
That's when
that
Vegas
sucks
is
real bad.
Those casinos are nice for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we got some See or No. Amber's going to set that up for us. We'll do that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek. And we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Back to the break.
Download the official app of the Dallas Cowboys. You can get access to in-market game broadcasts, mobile tickets, daily podcasts, live pregame, postgame shows, updates, and more. Download in the app or Google Play stores.
Second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Amber, it is your turn. What do you have for us?
Okay, before we start the game, there's a question that I've received a lot, and I wanted to get
Doesn't
to
have
it
anything to do with
first.
horoscopes, does it?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. We'll leave that for later. But I've received this question a lot, and it's basically what's been happening with Amari Cooper and Kellen Moore. Amari Cooper maybe voicing out that he's not getting the ball enough, and then fans seeing that at games too. Is there an issue there with what he's been doing versus like what Kellen Moore has in plan for the offense? Or what is your takeaway from what's been going on with him in the offense and Kellen Moore's plan?
I think my take on that is it's the downside of, and I think this is Kellen and Dak, it's the downside of that. We go with what they give us attitude. And that it can be a good thing. Like, it can be a very good thing. When it's humming and everything's working, you do what they give you, and it usually winds up working out where everybody gets their numbers. But sometimes that doesn't work, and it can work against you where you're not actively trying to feed your playmakers the ball. And I think that is the downside of, like, sometimes I think you do have to force the issue, and I think maybe that's an issue for Kellen and maybe to some degree for Dak.
And with that, another layer, and you guys can answer to it. You know how we've talked about the dynamic being so good on the offense and everybody getting along basically and clicking and all that. With those comments coming out from Amari Cooper, I've received comments and questions like, is there some kind of friction starting to happen there where now it's not as smooth as it used to be, and maybe there's some locker room problems going on now?
I don't think so. I think that Amari Cooper answered that question in the best way that he can. From you ask a star wide receiver if they want the ball more. If there's not going to be many that say that they don't. And Michael Gallup's the only one that I've ever heard that kind of hinted at that. I know Michael wants the ball, but I mean he kind of hinted at it that one day that we talk about, but. I don't think there's friction at all. And I don't know if you guys heard. Did you hear what Amari said yesterday on The Fan? He was asked by Broadus, actually. Broadus asked him the question. He said, Amari, are we giving you guys too much crap about this offense? I mean, are you guys? Is this something that we should be worried about, or is it? Are y'all worried about it? Is it too much? Why are we keep talking about the offense? And Mari's like going 80 miles down the highway, or whatever. It's hard to hear him, and he's quiet anyways. But he said something to the effect of, when you are in sports, when you have shown the ability that you can be great, fans expect that all the time. That's the level that they put you at. And if you don't reach that all the time, then they are going to be that way. And we put it on ourselves. We've shown it. And we demonstrated ability, and we're not there all the time. And when you're not there all the time, you're going to get criticism. And that's the way sports is. I thought that was fair. I thought, that's why
I love listening to him talk.
He's
really always got very insightful things to say that are like, but it's just so insightfully said. It was perfect.
Like I was driving down the road. I was with William. William and I were driving yesterday, and and Maury answered. He goes, "Well, in sports," and I was like, here we go, like philosophy time. And then we're like, yeah, good answer, Mark. He actually is pretty good when you really kind of listen to what he's saying.
The best
on that show, really good
if you know how to talk to him.
Right.
I mean, like, if you ask him a yes or no answer, he's going to say yes or no.
Is that a shot at me?
It's not a shot at you.
It should be.
It's not a shot.
It could be a shot at
you. Yeah, for those that don't know, Nick did the first interview that Amari did when he got here.
It's not a shot at you, because how could you? How could you have possibly known?
Terrible.
How could you know? You don't know
money.
that guy.
Jerry Madelon made money off of that because he was like, okay.
Oh no, Jerry was sitting, and Jerry Madelon is our guy that kind of works with all of our talent, and he was very quick to be like, hey. I got some stuff I want to run by Nick. Don't want it to come off as too harsh, but we got to talk about the Amari interview. It was a rough one, but you don't know that until you interview him, and then you find out, he's not the type where you can just kind of have a conversation with him. You got to give him a good point question, so he can give you a great answer.
Good interviewers know how to adjust in the moment. What you get what you see what you're getting there, and then
that is a shot.
Hey, that's what you got to do in football too. You see what the other team is giving you, and then you adjust to what they're giving.
I've probably told this story before, but I just love it. It was his first season. He got traded. They made the playoffs, and like when the playoffs come around, all these slappies start showing up, like people who haven't covered the team all year. The local news station sends their non-sports reporters out to do like human interest stories. Columnists, just all kinds of people that haven't been around show up for the playoffs. And they were trying to get that juicy soundbite, and they just didn't know Amari, and they were like, when did you feel like a cowboy? Like, when was the first time you felt like a cow? And like, he just kind of stood there and like thought about it. He was like, I get like when they called me and told me I got traded, I guess. Like, it was the worst answer. It's not Amari's fault.
You're not gonna, yeah.
It was fantastic. And I'm just over here like dying laughing listening to it.
I'm sure all the beat reporters that have been around are looking at this guy like, or girl, whoever.
I don't remember who said it. I don't remember who asked the question. It was peak Amari Cooper. It was great.
That was my question.
No, it wasn't.
All right, let's get into some see or no. This one plays into Kellen Moore. Pretty simple question. Is Kellen Moore going to be here next year?
C.
Oh.
C.
Oh.
You're expecting something different?
Yeah.
I don't. You didn't answer.
I guess C. I don't know. I mean, he's going to. I don't know how many jobs are going to be open. I mean, right now there's 2, maybe 3.
On average, you're going to have 5,
6 to 8, depending on the year.
Yeah.
It's tough to go from pro to college unless you sit out a year or you leave your team high and dry in December.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can go to a college job.
Yeah, I don't think college is probably going to be.
I think all the college openings are filled.
Right.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's why
that gets done quicker.
You got to be Bobby Petrino to just say like, peace out.
Unless they which they could, but unless they like catch fire during the playoffs, it's been so herky-jerky the second half of the year.
Yeah.
And I know they're not going to hire you based off the strength of your last 8 games. It's your overall resume. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like his star is kind of diminished a little bit here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, last year there was still there was already some noise being created. I know every year it's different. Like you said, depends what's vacant at the moment. But, when you start hearing something from the year before, it kind of makes you think that it's eventually going to happen.
And he's going to have to, take what Dave just said, but then you can kind of, go in there and you'll have this, personality that'll just knock their socks off and all that. And if he does that, that's something. Then he does a great job. I'll take him to Vegas to play poker because that's not what I see out of him. If he's got that in him, fine.
I think he's got a better personality than he shows when he talks to the media, but not just light the room up like just the most gregarious guy in the world.
Yeah. And I also think too, when you have a younger coach who has inconsistent results, I think that probably I would think if it were me making the decision, it would give me pause. It's one thing when you have years of watching him do it and there may be some inconsistency, then maybe you can give him the benefit of the doubt that there were circumstances that led to that. I don't know that he has enough history for me. If I were making the decision, I don't know if I have enough history of him as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator to say, I think, I'm certain that he can handle this. He's ready for this. I just don't know.
But you go to the playoffs and you score 37 points in against Arizona or whatever, and the offense is rolling and all that stuff. Go to Green Bay, do whatever you're going to do in Green Bay, score some points there, maybe win the game. If you did that, definitely gets hired. You go beat Green Bay in an offense, and it's a game where the offense is doing stuff.
Beat them. Maybe it changes the narrative.
The thing that when I think about Kellen, I just think about the one thing that gives me pause is a job where they need you to develop a young quarterback, because he's done that. I don't know how much credit you want to give him for developing Dak into what he is now, but he's been there for his whole career. He was there as a teammate, quarterback's coach.
He got hurt for him.
He did, yeah. He launched Dak's career in a way. But, so if Kellen can go into – and, the Jacksonville job is open. He did not want to talk about whether or not he's going to talk to them at all. But so he might interview there. Chicago seems like a likely opening where there's a young quarterback in need of development. So if he could go into a situation like that and say, this is what I did for Dak Prescott, the 4th-round pick. Think about what I can do for your 1st-round pick. Maybe.
Can I play see or no real quick? And we don't need to go into detail on this. Just see or no. If he leaves, is the next offensive coordinator already on staff?
I think so.
See.
Okay.
I don't think, and I bet you're going to ask us about Dan too, maybe.
Let's go.
But if either one of them leaves, I think they promote on this staff.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I can believe that. I can buy that too.
I mean, I don't know though. I don't really know this staff well enough. If Jason Garrett was here, I would be like, oh yeah, you promote in house all the time.
I'll call my shot right now. If Kellen leaves, I think Doug Nussmeier's your OC next year. If Dan Quinn leaves, I think Joe Witt is your DC. Joe Witt said during the bye week that one of his 2 dream jobs as a young coach was to be the Cowboys DC. And Dan Quinn talked about him yesterday. Like, he's the guy, not that Dan doesn't have a role in it, but like Joe Witt is the architect of what they're doing in coverage and calling that stuff and all that type of stuff. So that just makes sense to me.
He could also be the DC for Dan Quinn.
If Dan Quinn gets
that's
a head
true.
coaching job.
That's a good point.
But does that guy have Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons?
Well, see, that's the thing.
I mean,
you're still trying to look at what's going to give you the best chance to keep advancing.
Yeah.
And you look at this defensive roster, and you're like, hey, are y'all bringing back Gregory? And if they are, then they're like, I kind of want to stay.
I don't think it would be Nussmeier. I think it would be Joe Judge. If I had to guess.
Well.
What? Something? I got something.
Judge.
Mike, what's his name?
Why would you do that? What? Really, Joe Judge?
What's his name?
I'm talking about the Giants head coach.
Yeah.
Not Judge. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ben McAdoo.
Oh, okay. I was like,
sorry.
I was like Joe Judge. I thought he was making a joke. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Giants, I don't know.
You're saying he's going to get fired. You're saying the Cowboys are going to hire him. There's a lot has to happen there.
Those Giant coaches that can't win over there, they're all good. I'm talking about McAdoo. Sorry.
Okay. Ben McAdoo.
McAdoo would make sense.
That would not
too.
surprise me. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Judge McAdoo. Yeah.
Right,
you're like, you know something I don't know?
Right. Like, what are you? Okay. Anyway.
You mentioned Randy Gregory and Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
So if we know Randy Gregory is going to be a free agent, if he walks away and doesn't make it back here on the roster, should the Cowboys move Micah Parsons to be defensive end full time?
No. I'll just keep saying it till one of them answers.
I asked Stephen
Is it
Jones.
that complicated?
It is for me. It is.
I asked Stephen Jones this question yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, Micah went out there and said, if I got all the snaps, I'd be 18 to 20 sack guy. I go, if you really believe that, is that hard to say, man, we're leaving this on the table?
Yeah.
And he was like, he thinks that his versatility to disguise all that for a quarterback is tougher. And that's the reason why he's got so much success that way.
Yeah.
But I'd take that equation out off the table. Don't let Randy walk.
Yeah.
You stood by,
that's in your
stood
control,
by
the way.
guy for many years when a lot of people said that you probably shouldn't have because he didn't deserve it. People have said that. So you got to, and they stood by him. Now, so he could one day he could just blow up and really be really good, and then you gonna let him walk.
Randy
can't let him walk.
Randy's staying. I don't.
Keep him.
You got to keep
I don't know how it works out. They might have to tag him. I think he wants to be here, and And again, that the whole hometown discount thing is largely BS. Sure. I mean, you gotta make a respectable offer. He's not going to sign for pennies on the dollar, but I think Randy wants to be here. I think they want Randy here. I think all of the history there that matters. They'll figure it out.
Yep.
But also just. No, you can scheme to take even the best defensive end in the game away if you're hell bent on doing it. You can't take a guy who plays every position on the field away. Can't. It's awesome.
Here's the part that I
want him breaking up passes 20 yards downfield 3 snaps after getting a sack.
Yep.
Yeah, this is why I paused, is because at this point in his career, I'm not sure you're going to get a full 17 games out of DeMarcus Lawrence. So if you don't have Randy Gregory and you're missing Lawrence for whatever period of time you lose him.
How much longer does he have?
DeMarcus?
Yeah.
Oh, on his deal? I don't know.
I mean,
It's a little bit.
a lot.
4 years?
Yeah, because it was
Not
not long
only-
ago when he.
Not only is it at least like 3 years, but they've also moved the money around.
Yeah.
Like,
So you can't just get rid of him. Like,
No.
And I know this, nor should they. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is still a very, very productive player for him. I just think it's the same thing as Tyron.
Yeah.
Both of them very productive. You would be fooling yourself if you think you're going to go into a season and you feel really sure you're going to get 17 games. So I think you have to plan with that contingency that there may be games that we have to play without them. And that's where I start saying, man, if I don't have either one of them for certain games, I want
2 years.
I want
2 more.
2
Well,
more
that's it.
years.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean he's got 3 more years.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
But 2 more years before you can.
Get away affordably.
I mean,
Before it makes sense.
it says potential out 2022, but like
Yeah, they can do it in 2022. It's not going to be the most cost effective.
no,
in
I
the
mean
world.
his cap hit 27 million. Dead cap would be 19 million in dead cap.
No. I'd run this
Yeah.
thing back with the guys I got on this defense. So I'm trying as
If-
much as I can to keep those core guys together.
If he was just not giving you anything, maybe. But I mean, with what we've seen from him since he came back, I don't get why you would want to pay $20
Is
million.
he the second best player on your defense?
Second or third? Yeah.
Him, Randy, Micah.
I was thinking Diggs.
There's a guy that has 11 picks.
I'm gonna say Diggs belongs in that conversation
does.
too. Sure.
Keep them all.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
point. Like, keep that core together is my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think you let that core get
Yeah.
away.
I don't know why you would pay
Run it back, you know?
$19 million to not have him on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you could pay him 27 to help you.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
We still have time.
Give me one more.
do it.
Okay. See or no? This is the best Cowboys team we've seen in the 21st century.
That would have been so
C.
easy to answer.
I'll say C.
That would have been so easy to answer on November 1st.
Now, not so sure.
I mean, you know, I hate. Ooh, yeah.
No, this team isn't better than the 07 team.
I think it is.
Really? No, I don't think so. I mean, that team was 13-2 going into the last game and didn't have anything to play for, and they ran the ball. They had 2 running backs that ran the ball really well, and Romo was moving around. They had, they just didn't have that many lulls like this.
I don't think that defense was nearly as good as this defense. And I think this offense, certainly at its best, is comparable. Now we can say how are they at their best? When are they at their best? Maybe they're not at their best anymore. Maybe they can't get that back. I tend to believe in the playoffs they'll get some of that back. I think they'll get back to being closer to that. But I think when you just look across the entire team, offense and defense, I think this team is better.
They are much more talented than they were in 2019, but since the bye week, they remind me of 2019, where I'm just like, I know it's in there. I know you're good. Why can't you just show it on a consistent basis? I mean, they flabbergast me. So I can't say so because I just don't trust them. They haven't given me a reason to over the last 9 weeks. I don't think that they're better. They're way more talented than 2014. But I trusted the 2014 team a lot more than this one, I think.
Yeah.
And those 2 teams I just talked about in 2007, 2014, they ran the football. DeMarco Murray ran the ball really, really well. He was
1,800 yards.
Player of the year, offensive player of the year in the NFL. They could count on that. That's the thing. And that's, I think, the issue with this team right now. You just can't count on anything. You just don't know what you can
Other
count
than defense. Can't you?
You can, to a degree, I mean, which I hate to kill them for this. I was the one that said on Monday, I mean, they played well enough to win that game, but they didn't get a takeaway. And that's, I mean,
Fair.
They're living off of that all season. And if you don't get it, it can be part of the reason why
At
you
some
lose.
point, you gotta be able to rely on your offense.
I know.
Absolutely. And I think
Right,
that's fair.
and they can't. And they
in the
can't.
NFL, you got to.
And they're not. That's why they're not as balanced right now. So the defense, and we said it. We used to say it about the offense the other way. The offense had to score 40. If they only scored 24 last year, they probably weren't going to win. This year, the defense has got to not only play well like they did last week, but they got to get sacks and turnovers. See, last week they just played okay. It wasn't good enough to win. They got to get. That's why this team isn't. This team's scary because they're not balanced right now. And who would have thought when the season started?
Yeah, right.
That this is what
Nobody
we're
would have
crazy.
thought.
Defense got to be perfect, I guess. Defense got to go out and do everything.
What a stupid sport. What a
All right,
stupid
we're going to
sport.
take our final break. We'll come back. We got some final questions for this crew, and then we will get predictions for this game. We'll do that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
cold.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to the break.
Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop has a lot of good stuff. Go there, Dallas Cowboys. Shop.dallascowboys.com.
That was short. Welcome back to the final segment of the break. Live from the SWBC Morning Studios at the Star. Go shop at dallascowboys.com.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff over there.
/shop. Huh?
They got a lot of cool stuff over there.
Yeah, they do.
They got stuff for the playoffs. They got stuff for you can get NFC East memorabilia if you want to get that.
Yeah.
Just want to walk around and be like, remember when we won the East? We could be the Houston Texans.
These days, you gotta celebrate where you can.
Hater.
I'm saying you celebrate where you can.
I get it. I mean, I've never been one for the divisional gear. I don't know. I mean, I need a bigger achievement. That's like.
Okay.
The matchup T-shirts, like Clemson LSU in the national title game. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy this unless they win. Like, I don't want to remember this if they lose.
It's all about perspective, though. Like my team played your team this year in football.
Right.
Okay. We finally won the game.
Yep.
They've been carrying around because they got this dang boot trophy and all these other trophies this year. Like it's been the greatest season of all time, even though it took an overtime win against a kid that had never played to get the boot. But like if y'all would have won, you don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like
not at all.
And you're kind of the same way. I don't know why, but y'all used to be like, if you guys finish 10-2 and don't win the national championship, it's like I don't care. But so it's all about perspective.
Brown's first few years
it's all about perspective. Yeah. And so teams, teams have banners in their stadium that said we won the division, and the Cowboys are
lots
like,
of them.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I get that for sure.
Perspective.
Yeah, even I don't know. Even in the pros, you need to win the division. It's important, but. How much do you care about that if you fall on your face in the playoffs? Like even the Jags, like even Jacksonville, they're like, yeah, okay, we won the South, whatever. We got our asses kicked the next week. I don't know. Anyway,
when was that?
No, I'm just using it as an example.
All right, let's go ahead and get some predictions. We got about 2 minutes left in the show. Let's see what you guys think is going to happen this week. Cowboys versus Eagles. Nick.
There'll be a snowball that hits the bus.
Have you ever gotten hit by a snowball in Philly as you're walking
along?
along?
Battery.
You did get hit by battery.
I mean, it hit my foot. It rolled into my foot.
That story changed.
I got hit in the foot. Then it went to what kind of?
And he tapped my foot.
Gotta stop that my foot.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be on like the victim unit here. Okay, but I'm just saying. the thing that was amazing about it, it like bounced into like, and you like look at this at the vet, and you're like, where did that come from? Like that was a throw, and it's like, I mean, a little bit further could have hit somebody. I mean, that's amazing. Like that happened. Our bus has been, obviously hit by eggs and stuff like that
all the time.
Philly's the first place I remember the bus getting egged.
Yeah. So
under that bridge is where right as soon as you come from under that bridge.
Yeah. There'll be something
that's a heck
flying.
Of a throw, by the way.
There'll be something flying at the bus. There will be birds flying, and when we go, when the bus goes in, there'll be a lot of booze. There'll be classless people there, and it'll be really cold. And this game will be one that Dave will look over at me and be like, "This game sucks.
Why are we here?"
Yeah. And then we'll say that to Derek. He's like, "I tried to tell you. That's why I'm sitting at home, not even watching." So those are my predictions for the game.
Yeah, I refuse to pick a winner. We just no go.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Just say what happens.
All right. I thought about this, and Nick likes to make the off the wall predictions. Right. I usually don't, but Kelvin Joseph is going to get his first career pick.
There we go.
I'll take that.
And we're going to add 2 names to the touchdown list. It's still at 19.
It's at 19. Yeah.
Corey Clement hasn't scored a touchdown.
Oh,
right?
That's a good one for
Corey
him.
Clement scores his first Cowboy touchdown, and I'll throw in another one.
Is your boy Blake playing this week?
I don't know, but
he scored 2.
Yeah, he has scored. Yeah, Blakey Jars has scored. Who else needs a
Jars?
Lukey Giff.
Who else needs a tutty? So I'll say Sprinkle. I think I predicted that before. He should have had one by.
So I mean,
I want Mike in the end zone. I guess he can't do it this regular season, but I really like
defensive touchdown is just a bold prediction. I mean, I know a lot of guys have done it this year.
Connor McGovern.
You think they try to get him one?
I mean, just give him the rock.
At some point.
2 new guys are going to score touchdowns, and Kelvin Joseph will get his first career pick.
Rush
and
with the sneak?
Maybe. We'll all be happy when it's over. That's my
prediction.
That's my main prediction.
Amber, what you got?
I have a feeling that just because they like to keep my heart rate kind of going and get me upset from time to time, I have a feeling that this is going to be a game where, yes, it will be like we're happy it's over. But I have a feeling that even with all those backup guys going in and you're not really playing all your starters and all that, the Cowboys are going to lose this game. And even though knowing that that's how they played the game, I'm going to be like, oh, great. This is how we're going into the playoffs. This is how we're starting the postseason, even though our starters didn't play. So anyways, I don't know what's all going to happen, but I just know I'm going to be upset.
Well, that's a given. I will say, I think we talked about this week. The last time they played kind of a BS finale after they'd already clinched the division was like one of the most thrilling games ever. Maybe we're all wrong. I hope it's as fun as that 2018 Giants game. Yeah. That was nuts.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that this game, even though I don't really know what the final will be, I think it will be dramatic at the end for some reason. Whatever happens, I think it's going to be kind of dramatic at the end. So I think it'll be a relatively decent watch. You'll watch it. You're like, that was fair to, that's fun to watch for 3 hours. But at the end of the day, we all know by the time the game's over, it kind of ceases to be important. It's going to be on to the playoffs, and we'll be looking at what's going to be happening next week.
I think when you go back and look at this season, years from now or a couple years from now, I mean, I think that there is a big difference for some reason between 11-6 and 12-5. It's just 12 is always a number that's just that's a good number there. 6 losses that's a lot of losses, not a lot, but I mean it's and even though the goals are still the same regardless, I think this has a chance to just have a better feel of the season. Undefeated in your division. I mean, it hasn't happened since '98. 6-0 in the division. That's what you got to do. You got to win those games. So I think it'll be something. There's some things to play for, but you're just not going to go out of your way to risk things to do it.
And with the weather being bad, weather's bad, and the Eagles are always wacky when it comes to like 2-point conversions, and McCarthy hasn't been afraid to do that either. The score is going to be weird. It'll be something silly like 26-22. I don't know. It's going to be bizarre.
Zerline better get back on track. Like he does not need to at this point miss kicks in this game.
Maybe don't even let him try any.
But what if he doesn't? What if he misses a 42-yard field goal in 14-degree weather and he misses the kick? I mean, is that?
Yeah, that's a problem. You don't know
I
who
will
you're
tell you
facing
this. I'll tell you
down
this.
the road.
I'll tell you
where
this.
I'm playing.
I do wonder.
know.
I do wonder if this team is starting to get to a point where they're kind of like, we may have to look for other people if he continues to be inconsistent. And so I think if he goes out this week and he makes his kicks, then I think everything's good. If he misses some, then I do think that there's going to be at least some thought. Like, should we just out of the just because you got to do something, not that you're going to necessarily get a better result, but you got to do something. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys start thinking about it.
I would be, because, and how many times have we said this over the years? He's got a sponsor. Brian brought us. Special teams coach can carry a big stick.
Yeah, but what happens when that sponsor is repeatedly what he's saying? This guy's going to get it. He's going to be all right.
He said it with his chest yesterday,
and he doesn't. He's not all right. Like, at some point, you lose that ability for that sponsor to have the kind of weight in the room when it comes to your name as he did before.
I would be surprised if they made that move.
Yeah,
I would be too. And the thing is, why would you wait until literally the end of the regular season? And I get it. You start preparing for playoffs and all that, but you've seen this trend happen throughout the season. So why wait so late for you to get a guy in?
But what's the trend? What is the trend? Like you're just talking about. Like what have you really seen throughout the season?
He's not necessarily a full guy that's been fully consistent that you can 100,000% rely on.
There's no kicker like that. There's no kicker in the league.
Yeah, but he's not even operating at. Let's be clear. Like we talked about earlier this week.
Before he missed.
I know, but we talked about it earlier this week. He is 24th in the league in field goal percentage. So relative to other kickers, he's not consistent. Like, he's not consistently making the kicks he should be making.
Okay, it's okay. You can't get those guys. They're not available. You can't trade. The trade deadline's over.
I understand that.
Them.
I understand.
So you're going to get somebody else that's down here because he sucked before.
All I'm saying is we've seen it happen here before. We've seen it happen around the NFL. There gets a point where a guy is missing so much to where, even though we know what's on the like out in the street right now, we know that's not going to be great.
Yeah.
It just gets to a point where you're like, we got to do something because we can't trust right now.
Well, to me, he's 3 misses away from that. But I mean, he's nowhere close to. We got to do something.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I do think that there's probably going to be some eyebrows raising if he misses again in this game. Like, I just think that he needs to get on another one of those 11 kick runs and make everybody feel a little more comfortable with what's going on.
What you said then, then I'm probably not letting him do it then. I'm
you
not letting him.
You don't let him kick at all.
I'm not being
not if the weather's like this. If we know how it is in Philly, and especially I wouldn't. Not a 48-yard field goal.
I'm not being funny at all. Like, I mean, sure, they might play in Lambeau Field, but you can't count on that. All I know is for sure next week they're going to be playing indoors. Why am I trying to mess with his confidence by having him go out there and trying ridiculous kicks in 10-degree weather with the wind blowing at the link at night? No way.
There is no wind, though. This game's supposed to be 2 mile-per-hour winds.
Whatever. I still wouldn't do it.
Wind's not going to be an issue.
I mean, extra points and
I'm going to send you a picture on the sideline with my press pass just flying.
All right, I'm just saying, like, that's what the weather report says. It's supposed to be no wind. So
they're so accurate.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Whatever. I wouldn't mess with his head.
All right.
No, again, no field goals for either team. We're going for 2 every time. I'm serious.
That's just the principle. Like, everybody's going to go for 2.
Final score.
There will be an 18.
20-18. 18?
Yeah, 18.
God.
You guys are gross.
I know. No, it is.
It is. It really is gross.
It is gross.
I was thinking that earlier. I was like, there's going to be an 18 in this game.
All right.
18.
I just want him to make his kicks. It will make me feel better. Let's just put it like that. It will make me feel better if he can make some kicks this week.
I mean, I know we need to end the show. Why will it make you feel better?
Just because, like, right now, I don't feel great about the kicker. I just want to make some kicks so I feel better.
But
that's it.
He made 11 in a row, and then he missed that kick, and then now all of a sudden you don't feel good.
By the way, during those 11 kicks, I was like, okay, our kicker's starting to get it together. I started to feel more confident. Then he missed, and I was like, huh? And then he missed, and then it's like it keeps happening. Like, he's had these moments in the season where he's just inconsistent.
Kickers are like teenagers. Like, you think that they're good, and then all of a sudden they do something. They just do something, and you're like, what? All right, I thought it was different than that. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think there's.
You can't rely on the kicker 1,000%. Like there are no 1,000% kickers.
Yes.
Who?
There's one.
Well,
Hook 'em, baby.
There we go.
I don't know. Last game I saw him. Last game he kicked in front of me. He missed.
At the time,
Last year, 38
Dan
yarder.
Bailey, I would
he probably hasn't
trust
missed
him
since
with
then.
my eyes closed.
Yeah, that was
during his prime.
It's
a long time ago.
During his prime, yeah.
Well, he's on the street. If you want to
he got, and then he got to his point too, where he was spraying.
He's
them
out
all over
there.
the
He's
place.
out there. You want him?
I don't.
I'm good.
I mean,
What?
years go by and then you move on. I mean, that's what happens. That's the cycle of life.
AG's over here talking like it's an ex, you know? put on some Adele and watch Dan Bailey.
I was a big Dan Bailey supporter.
Oh, boy.
All right, guys, man, we appreciate
Till
y'all
he had
joining
the
us.
shanks, and then you're like, out.
We appreciate y'all joining us. Next time we're on the air, we will be talking playoff football. Till then, for Nick Eatman, Dave Hellman, Amber Garcia, I am Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?